How many times have you tried to go into the Altissimo register and it didn't work out? Maybe it sounded a little bit like this.
Okay, no, I got this. I got this. All right. I got this. Okay, think. Be fast. Ding.
Maybe it sounded a little bit like this.
Okay, I got this. One more time.
And then you stop and think to yourself, how do they do it? How does Gerald Albright and David Sanborn and all the past legends and all the recent legends do it? How do these saxophone players actually do it? Well, I kind of got it down maybe after 4 years or so. Okay, 2 years. Then it doesn't take that long. You just gotta work with it. So these are my thoughts and opinions on the Altissimo register. So we're back, and I just want to know one thing. How are you faring in the Altissimo register on your saxophone or your woodwind instrument in general? Okay, now the Altissimo register, it's been used by many people. It's been used by the old legends, less frequently, but it's been used by the newer saxophone players and the newer woodwind instrumentalists. Now you can hear King Curtis back in the 60s and early 70s and all those other bands in 80s and 90s and most likely in hard rock. All those people, they used to use Altissimo, especially in the tenor saxophone area, but altos used to use it too, and very rarely you could actually hear a baritone saxophone going to Altissimo register. Now you might not know that the baritone saxophone is in the Altissimo register, considering that it's such a low instrument in itself, but Altissimo is pretty cool. Now, you might come up with somebody, that's an old, traditionalist saxophone player and say, oh, well, we don't like Altissimo. Altissimo is a parlor trick. It's an old fantasy. We don't want to use Altissimo and parlor tricks in our saxophone playing. It's really subjective. It's subjective. Whatever you think you should do in your soloing or your playing in general, if you feel as though you need to put Altissimo in there, go ahead and crank it up to the Altissimo. You can see it very prevalently in you can see it in marching band students a lot. You can see it in a lot of jazz musicians a lot, and especially rock and roll musicians. So, Altissimo is not, something you should shun from your everyday practices. If you want to do Altissimo, you just got to know that if you first begin at it, it's going to be hectic. Like in the beginning of the video, you can sound like a whole bunch of different types of animals trying to do this Altissimo thing, and it's not going to be fun to the people that are listening to you practice. Now, if you're practicing in the house, you might want to go outside for Altissimo training. Trust me, Altissimo is just at the beginning. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. You're gonna have to try to do some overtoning, a lot of long tones, and you're gonna have to try to incorporate it in what you do already. So say you play the B-flat scale. Alright, now you already know something basic, maybe 1 octave. Now it's time to incorporate the Altissimo register most of the time when you're doing scales. And depending on what key you in, put it up there in the Altissimo register. If you start a concert B-flat on the alto saxophone, which I'm going to start, basing all my examples off of, but for the alto saxophone, if you start now in the Altissimo register and you play the B-flat, concert B-flat scale, you start on the root note G. All right. Now, if you play that one octave, you go from low G to, I guess, the mid level G, and then you go from there back down. All right. Now, take that same concept and put it in the Altissimo register. It's really not that hard to figure out what you need to do to incorporate it, but when you actually trying to play the Altissimo note, it doesn't come out as easy as you want it to. Now, when you're playing Altissimo, the thing is, like Gerald Albright said in a video that he did, it's all about the mouthpiece to reed combination. Once you've got the basic technique down of how to, do your Altissimo note, it's pretty much all mouthpiece and reed ratios. Some people like a softer reed with a more open mouthpiece, and some people like a harder reed with a closer mouthpiece. Mouthpiece that's more closed. So it's all subjective. It's all about what you want to do, what you're more comfortable with doing. But when you're applying it to your everyday thing, you run up those scales. Go from low G to middle G to high G, then do it in a scale. Put that Altissimo in that G, and then come all the way back down. Hit that F sharp with the side keys, and all of that stuff. All of that stuff, you try to do it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and eventually you'll get better at it. You can't just sit there and not get better at it, And a lot of times, it depends on what kind of saxophone you have. If you have a beginner saxophone, depending on which one it is, it may not even allow you to go into the Altissimo register that well. You might find that you get a professional saxophone, and you can do a lot more Altissimo in that professional saxophone. Some newer saxophones are geared for Altissimo. Most of those old saxophones, they probably weren't, more than likely weren't built for Altissimo. But these newer saxophones are. Find where you belong. Find where you need to go. It's all about what you want to do. Now, when it comes to applying it, again, when you take it up to the next level, put it in your arpeggios. B flat arpeggios. It's real simple. Just put it in whatever you do, but I guess if you're a jazz musician, the hardest thing you probably gonna experience is putting it in a solo. Now, because it's not gonna be easy, Sometimes Altissimo is wonderful, for something that has a rock feel to it or a pop feel to it, something like a Michael Jackson, a Michael Jackson song, or like Rock With You, something that has that pop rock feel that somebody has made into a jazz original, not original, but a jazz crossover. So you have to, just really do what's right. Did you feel is right? Do it as right for you. Wherever you feel is wrong, don't put it there. If you feel it's right, put it there. But again, improvisation and jazz, it really can't be wrong. It can sound good or bad depending on what your opinion is of a good solo, but it's all about really what you want to do. And once you learn Altissimo is fun to do, but it's easy to mess up. You just have to really have that muscle memory, like Gerald Albright said in his Cannonball video, that you just gotta have good muscle memory. And just memorize, what your licks are, memorize them, and just, it's all up to you. So comment in the boxes below. Are you having trouble with Altissimo? I know a couple of Altissimo notes now. I'm not perfect, everything's not perfectly in tune, but, I can play it to the point where, I can put it in a solo or two. I can put it in a live concert, so just let me know, comment boxes below. I think some people might want me to make an Altissimo video where I'm actually playing Altissimo notes individually like all those other YouTubers out there. I don't mind doing that, so just comment in the boxes below if you're having trouble, quote unquote, as they say it in the marching band world, or anybody says it like this, screaming, let me know. I'll try to put one up there and try to make it sound as best as I can and let y'all know how I practice it. So comment in the boxes below, rate, subscribe, all that stuff. Project Sax, I'm out.